And so eventually we switched, and he was Grester was kind of competitive about it because he really wanted it. And I remember Sebastian, because he was chosen as editor-in-chief, he talked to us both separately, and I guess he sort of mock interviewed us. It was an actual interview, and asked us about like our why we want to do it. What do you feel you can improve on from the last online editor? What are some of your ideas that you can kind of like revolutionize or whatever? And then he told me, hey man, like I've chosen online editor, and I think it's gonna be you, because Grester, I think he would be better in the way he deals with people as managing, because he was a lot friendlier with people, but he was stern with people. Like he was a good balance, and I kind of wasn't. I was very brusque individual, I guess, still. And so I got an online position, and it was fun. It was frustrating. It's a lot of small little details that kind of roll into a giant just like myriad of like problems that could happen. Like, oh, this coding isn't right, then this whole page just explodes, and then this photo isn't the right size, then it throws off the whole page. It's not level, and it was fun to do it. It was also very frustrating because at the time my sister poured coffee on my laptop, and so I'm like, oh my god, how am I going to work at home on the online side? So it was another reason why I was always here on campus. I would always be here early, like working on the online side, either in the computer lab or there was or in the newsroom.
So you had the opportunity to view how many views each story has had and all that. Tell me about the importance of analytics.
It measures how well we're doing in terms of if we're writing or filming or taking photos of things people actually want to read. And this is because it costs money, to the WordPress, the version we use isn't the free version, so it costs money, and then it's kind of, if someone were to see that, they'd be like, okay, why are we paying so much money for like these little views? So it really made us think about how we went about presenting the online site, how we did stories, what kind of stories we did, and it was frustrating to see that our numbers weren't high enough, even though it could have been the perfect situation where it was just the online site finally leveled off. It looks nice, the colors are good, the photos are great, the stories are pretty good, but sometimes it's a cooperation effort in between me and then everyone else, all the editors and the multimedia, a social media editor at the time, where we all had to share the stories on our personal pages and kind of create like a social media footprint, where people don't just automatically just go to, oh my god, I'm going to check out the news on talonmarks.com, people don't even know it's Talon. We don't even have a website. They think it's just like, oh my god, you guys have a website? People still call it TalonNet occasionally. So it was a tandem effort in between me and then all the editors and then the social media editor, between sharing stuff and making sure that these stories, when everyone were shared, they would lead back to the online site, and that would increase our numbers and our readership, because in comparison to our print edition, the readership is gradually dropping off from print to online. And that's the way it's been with a lot of major newspapers, where they switch to just online, or they get less printed copies. And I remember they try to cut down our print edition, which on the outside perspective, it makes sense. Like, hey, you guys aren't getting that many people picking up your paper. But at the same time, that's also a domino effect, where if we get less print editions out, the advertisers don't want to advertise for as much money. They want like, oh, well, you're only getting 15,000 copies out. Why should we interview or invest for like 20,000 copies? So they try to do that, and it would kind of upset the budget a bit, and it would make us a little more closer to being in debt most of the time than, or at that line of, like barely cutting even. But eventually the way we're going is, and this might not be anytime soon, but eventually it's going to be just online. And I feel like the focus there is it's important, because it's we can do a lot more with online. We can do a lot of more breaking news and a lot more visual stuff that for print it's kind of more time constrained and it's more restrictive.
So I always ask my guests this question: what was your goal for this year, and where do you see yourself after Cerritos College?
My goal for this year was just plain and simple getting a job. and it's because, like I said, my mom was a single mother of 5 kids, including myself. My 5 kids, 2 dogs, 2 turtles, a cat, and a mouse now, apparently. My little sister brought a mouse the other day. And it was to get a job, and it was both because my mom has been obviously having issues with or trouble getting the rent on time, and just balancing, because she works at King Taco, so it's not a lot of money, and so she always has issues getting stuff on time, bills and such, and she got a second job, and it made things easier for her. But at the same time, I've seen her age, like she's very young. She's 39, 40. And she's very youthful, and she sometimes it feels like I have another sister, because she's always on her phone texting, and being like, "Mom, please put your phone on vibrate, it's annoying," or things like that. And she shares memes now on Facebook. I have her on Facebook. It's weird. She shares memes to me. I'm like, "Mom, please stop." I mean, they're funny, but it's just weird. Like, she's sharing dank memes, but I've seen her age, and it hurts, to see that, because I'm the oldest, and I should be helping her out, and so I want to get a job. And thankfully, my deferred action finally got approved actually a week ago, and so I can start the process of getting a work permit and getting a job. In terms of where I see myself outside of Cerritos, it's I'm planning to transfer, obviously, but I haven't made a decision on what school to go to, but I'm leaning more towards Long Beach, just because a lot of my friends are there and it's closer. And I want to double major in journalism and criminal investigation. And maybe law. I've been thinking about law recently. I don't know why. It might be because I've been watching Daredevil, because it sounds cool. And they all kind of go hand in hand if you really think about it. Because I'm really interested in crime reporting, but I also want to be a cop. Which a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, cops are tools, cops are bad," and all this. I'm like, okay, when I say I want to be a cop, I want to be an investigator. Like, I want to solve murders, if I want to make it sound cheesy. But I haven't really made a decision on that. I can't. Like, I kind of want. I love journalism. I love interviewing and finding things out. But I haven't made a decision on that.
We'll be right back after these public service announcements.
One of WPND's most acclaimed series is back. Mike Starr's panoramic look at rock and roll. From today, back to day 1, Rock 50. And now you can hear it.
These are actually pretty good
Rock
questions.
50 every day, 7 days a week at 6
Casey always loves, there's always a different type of guest that I try to mix it up.
And Mike's own insightful comments.
But there's questions that are like, man, you get different responses from people.
Yeah, it's all based on the responses. That's why I prefer to wing it, because then something
It's
will
raw
pop
and
up.
fresh.
Yeah.
I do that with interviews too. Like, when I first started in Talon Marks, I would, the things they always tell you is like, oh, always write down your questions before you interview.
See. During the week of Earth Day, there will be a multitude of workshops on campus to help you learn how you can help the Earth. And Thursday, April 21st, in Falcon Square between 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., there will be fun activities and chances to win a $50 scholarship and tickets for a free vegan meal or a green food truck. Participants will get a free vegan meal. They will also get t-shirts, prizes, so come on down to Falcon Square. Visit the green food truck. Can't believe I freaking messed up.
It's cool.
I mean, when it's long, I just said they could win a free green truck.
I hate when that happens.
I know, I just corrected it at the end. Like, oh no, I mean visit the free green truck, not win one.
Yeah. I've done audio like that. I'm like, oh my God, I made a huge mistake and I had to edit it out. And or I couldn't because it was just too interlaced with the question or the answer.
Oh, man.
No, but that's how you learn those. Like,
yeah, when it's live, it's like, oh.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much had saved us.
They take care of our housing. They take care of our food. In addition to the best medical treatment that my daughter could ever have. So So it allows me to focus on my daughter and getting her better.
And welcome back to the Falcon Spotlight. I'm your host, Rob Flores, here at Cerritos College, WPMD, Norwalk, California. And I'm back here with my guest. Now, you mentioned you're the oldest of your siblings. Tell me, the age groups. Are they still in K-12? Are they at Cerritos too with you? Or
One of my sisters is at Cerritos. She is the middle. I think she's 18, 19. And she's here at Cerritos, and I make fun of her because every time I see her walking by, she's with her friend, and she makes this weird face like I know this guy, but like I'm not gonna acknowledge him. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And it's funny. And then my other sister, like she's a year younger than I am. She's actually at UCLA, which it throws me off because I'm like, man, like she's at UCLA, like I'm here at Cerritos, which is not a bad thing, but it's like, man, I should have tried harder, but I didn't like to because I was bored. And then my little sister, she's 13 now, and she likes a bench sevenfold, and I always make fun of her for it, And my little brother, he's 11, I believe, and he's. It's funny because when those two, when they were growing up, my little brother used to love playing video games and watching TV, and my little sister used to love reading. Now, as they got older, it switched to where my little sister switched to like social media and like also memes and like dumb Instagram stuff, and then my little brother's the one that's always reading. Granted, he's always reading about video game stuff, but he's always reading all the time, and I like that because I don't want him to be like me when I was growing up. I was just like a straight video game hermit, playing video games all the time. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, he is kind of like me. Like he loves video games and like he likes talking about them, but he also likes reading, and he also likes Star Wars, which I'm like, it's really cool to have my little brother like Star Wars. I'm also jealous of him because where we are now. Relative to where we were or I was growing up, he's able to get more things like in terms of like toys and like consoles. Like he got a 360 recently, and he had like the PSP, and I'm kind of jealous because when I was little, I only had like a Nintendo, a Sega Dreamcast. I got like a PS2 later on. I forgot how I got it, and then an Xbox for Christmas. I got the original Xbox like the year that 360 came out, so I'm like, oh, this makes sense. And I always take his toys away. Like I'm like, this is cool. I'm taking it like that because the one bad side of him getting things like that is that he doesn't appreciate them and he doesn't take care of them. So like they're always just like chewed up because he leaves them on the floor, and my little dogs chew the toys. And they're cool toys. They're not like cheap 99-cent store toys like I used to get. Like he has like this like foot tall Kylo Ren figure, and I'm like, this is cool. I love this. And I'm always hoarding it because I don't want it to get ruined. And then he also has this Captain Phasma toy, which is apparently it was $30, and it's really heavy. And I'm like, wow, this toy is really heavy, and this thing costs more than my jeans. Like, how is this possible? And I took it from him. I'm like, you're not gonna leave this in your room for it to get chewed up, And it's weird interacting with my little brothers and sisters. Because we're different. We all like think the same. We're all very, especially my sister. She's probably the one responsible. The one at UCLA. She's probably the one responsible for a lot of the very feminist environmental stuff or ideas that we believe in. My mom believes in that stuff too. It's funny. Like she supports that stuff, and it's funny to see that because we all believe the same things: feminism and environmentalism and like racism and stuff like that in our culture. But we all have different tastes. Like my sister, the youngest one, or I'm sorry, Janet, the one at UCLA, she likes like punk, like a lot of weird like Spanish punk, and like recently she got into folklorico music, which is kind of nice, like really old school Mexican folk music. And then my other sister, Jenny, the one that's here, she loves hip hop and rap. She likes Kendrick Lamar. I call him Kendrick Lamar because it's funny. Oh, excuse me. She likes Logic, Eminem. She really loves Eminem, MWA, and all that stuff. And I like some of that stuff too. But she's really into that culture. And then my other sister, my little one, she's into Avenged Sevenfold and all that like weird like little girl like My Chemical Romance type stuff. And it's weird to see it from the outside. And my little brother, to be honest, I don't think he's actually developed a taste in music yet. Like it's just. I think he likes like video game soundtracks. I think that's like what his music is right now, and it's funny to see it. And my mom, like she's young enough to kind of connect with us on that level, where like we can openly talk about gay rights and feminism, and it's funny because she's also Catholic, so she's really religious, but not where it's very suffocating. I remember she used to try to get us to our first catechism or whatever, and we would come home and we were like, "Mom, we hate this. Like, this guy's dumb. Like, he's telling us something about the Bible, like something happened, and it's like not to be disrespectful to religion or any religion really, but it's just like we were very headstrong in our ideas about like how the world like came to be, and we didn't necessarily agree with like the whole Bible aspect, and we would always question the guy, and he would get upset because we were doing it in front of the class, and she's like, guys, like fine, like you don't have to do it, I'm not gonna force you guys to do it, if you're not really into it.
We are down to our last 5 minutes, but I have a few more questions. Well, you've accomplished a lot at Cerritos, and we have a great journalism program, and certain plaques, they commemorate, past leaders of Talon Marks. The online editor, like once you finish being online editor, you get to be on that plaque. The chief, but you're forever on there. But on top of that, what do you want your legacy to be? Like, if someone met you, during your time here at Cerritos College, what would you like someone from Cerritos College to have remembered about you?
My tenacity in terms of once I find a story that I really truly believe that I can do, or that I can feel strongly about, like an issue that's like something important that needs to get out, a story that needs to be told. I want people to remember the fact that I never gave up, even when the story got hard. Like the chief, one of my first semester as a news editor, or even now where there's a lot of stories that are or a lot of things going on Cerritos the campus, where it's not something that's really out in the open. It's not very obvious, and as a journalist, you really have to learn how to dig. And I encourage not even just journalists, but people in general to question things. To not take everything at face value, and especially in terms of like say administrators or board of trustees or student government or anyone really, where we think as students we're not full adults yet. We don't know anything about the world or things like that. But I would want people to question things and not be afraid of someone's authority or their title or their experience. Because you as a person, it's a learning process. Yeah, you might be younger, you might not have as much experience in the world, but it's always good to question things, and I want people to remember that to never forget to question things. And
another thing is, you're one of the few students, active students here on campus that, as they say, maxed out of the amount of times you could take the newspaper. So tell us, why is the journalism program so addicting?
For me, I guess it's just the knowing of things, like getting to know things and being, because as an outside student, I used to see the school as just one static thing, and then as a journalist student, you see, oh my God, there's a lot of things going under the cover of it, where it's so much going on. It's like a weird microorganism in and of itself. There's just so many little things going on, and I feel like that's addicting to me. Like, I just want to know things. I want to know why people are doing these things or why people are saying these things, and I don't know, I guess that's just it. Like, I just want to know things,
Cool. We're down to our last minute, but what are some things that maybe someone doesn't know about you? Like, how about like favorite TV shows?
I mentioned Daredevil. I really like MASH. It's a really old show. The main character, Hawkeye Pierce, is actually the one that kind of got me interested in. He's the one that I guess sort of offhandedly taught me to be like a very sarcastic, witty person. What else? I'm wearing Star Wars socks. Like, if you saw me, I'm dressed in like a tie and like a shirt and a coat, and I have bright orange BB-8 socks. I don't know, like, I'm really into like really dark, morbid stuff. Like Lovecraft stuff, things like that.
You have been known also for You're always dressed professional. If people haven't seen you, you always dress in suits, like always, or them. So what is it? A t-shirt, tie, and like suspenders and stuff like that. Tell me about your inspiration.
One of them was Elvis Costello. I don't know why. I like his music, and I like the way he dressed. And I always felt comfortable in this kind of clothing. It sucks that the weather actually doesn't allow for this kind of clothing all the time because it gets hot and I get sweaty. But another one would be like I was always into like the 1940s style type stuff, and it's just very like the detective, I guess, type look. That's what inspired me because I want to be a detective sort of.
Cool. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to be here on the Falcon Spotlight.
Glad to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this episode. Until next time, folks.